Well, who'd have thunk it? Chelsea are in a title race. Hey guys, welcome to the channel. Welcome to another video. Yes, today's video is going to centre around this team right here of Chelsea Football Club. They have been nothing short of brilliant so far this season, and the Blues, Enzo Maresca's men, are finding themselves currently in amidst the talk of a title race for this season. The Blues solidified their place in second this past weekend. They watched as Manchester City and Arsenal both dropped points this weekend. And with, of course, Liverpool not playing this weekend due to the postponement of the Merseyside derby that they were supposed to be in, it meant the Blues had a massive opportunity, not just to put some more distance between themselves and City, not just to put distance between themselves and Arsenal, but to also reduce the gap at the top of the table to 4 points between themselves and Liverpool, and they took full advantage of all of them scenarios playing out this weekend. It was a perfect weekend for Chelsea Football Club. They beat their arch rivals Tottenham by 4-3, a scoreline that completely flatters Tottenham, and we will get onto that a little later. But the Blues are now finding themselves in a title race in a season that was a little bit chaotic at the beginning. A lot of people, including myself, ridiculed and mocked Chelsea, and I think a lot of us are now seeing why Chelsea went through what they did in order to get to this stage of their somewhat project that they are undergoing right now. We're going to be talking Chelsea, we're going to be talking about Enzo Maresca, we're going to be talking about the title race that they seem to now be involved in and everything else in between. But before we get into all of that and much more, I want to just take this opportunity to say, could you please hit that like button if you haven't already, subscribe if you are new or want to see more content like this. Both of those things will be greatly appreciated by myself, so thank you in advance for doing that. Thank you for supporting the channel, whether it be continued or brand new, means a great deal to me and will always be appreciated. Hit the like I say, subscribe if you are new. Hit the comment section as well. Let me know what you guys are thinking and feeling down there in that comment section about this Chelsea project that they're undergoing right now, the Enzo Maresca situation, the title race situation, anything to do with Chelsea really. I would love to know what you guys are thinking and feeling down there. So your thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, whatever you want to call it, will make for great and interesting reading, I'm sure. So please do use and abuse that section below. Right, now that's out of the way and done with. Let's get on with the video. Let's talk Chelsea. Let's talk the potential title race. Let's talk Enzo Maresca. Let's talk the game yesterday between themselves and Tottenham and everything else in between. Look, first and foremost, I'm going to say this. I owe apology. I know I did a video on Chelsea a few weeks ago. I think it was in the aftermath of the Liverpool game, in which I said that there was actual method to the madness of Chelsea. And the reason I stated that was because it did seem like it was utter madness at the beginning of the season. You had Chelsea civil war where their owners were seemingly at loggerheads with each other. You had a transfer policy that had all the approach of a scattergun sort of ordeal, with them just buying seemingly anyone and anyone that's got a name and a price tag. It did seem a bit chaotic at Chelsea, and I made quite a few videos on them. I didn't see the bigger picture. I didn't see what they were trying to achieve. I just saw it as absolute chaos and disarray. Now, it seems the ownership has somewhat healed, or at least they're not putting their dirty laundry out in public as much as what they were. The players that they brought in are performing very well. The manager has done a lot better than what any of us or a lot of us probably expected. And full credit and full praise deserves to go to Chelsea for all of that and much more. They have been flying and been brilliant so far this season. There have been one or two odd performances. There have been one or two odd results that you can maybe pinpoint and go, that wasn't great, that wasn't so good, room for improvement there. But it wasn't going to ever be an overnight success. And let's face it, I don't think any one of us probably put Chelsea to finish second or to be in a title race this season. But yet, here we are, finding ourselves talking about Chelsea being involved in a title race for the first time in a very, very long time. So, full credit to Enzo Maresca, full credit to Chelsea for all of that. And like I said before, it was the perfect weekend for Chelsea. Yes, Liverpool didn't play. They still have a game in hand. But points on the board mean more than games in hand. And Chelsea had reduced Liverpool's lead to 4 points over them in the league this weekend with a win over Tottenham 4-3, whilst Liverpool obviously didn't play because of their Merseyside derby was postponed due to the weather. They also had the opportunity to watch Manchester City and Arsenal play before them. City played on the Saturday. They drew 2-2 with Crystal Palace, whilst Arsenal drew 1-1 with Fulham. So both of their nearest rivals dropped points. Incredible circumstances in both of them games. And Chelsea had the opportunity to take full advantage of that, put more distance between themselves and City, put some distance between themselves and Arsenal, who they were joint level on second and third with over the course of the weekend. And they did exactly that. Chelsea, for the opening 10 minutes, were poor. They were seemingly a little nervous. Tottenham took full advantage of a couple of horrific errors and mistakes and slip-ups, literally, from Marc Cucurella. And they led 2-0 thanks to goals from Dominic Solanke and Dejan Kulusevski. But as soon as Cucurella changed his boots, the mistakes stopped. Chelsea got back in full gear. Jadon Sancho grabbed a goal back. Cole Palmer got a second goal. Enzo Fernandez scored Chelsea's third, and he is on fire right now. We are starting to finally see, it seems, why Chelsea paid so much money for this guy. It seems that Enzo Maresca has finally unlocked Enzo Fernandez with several decent performances. Whether he's fully unlocked or not remains to be seen. Whether or not the consistency can continue across a longer period of time, we'll wait and see. But for right now, we are definitely seeing a much better Enzo Fernandez than what we have seen throughout the course of his Chelsea career to date. And to cap it all off, Cole Palmer with the most audacious, outrageous penalty you will ever encounter and see in your life. The Panenka down the middle. Ice cold Cole Palmer made it 4-2. Son Heung-min got a goal back at the end, but by then it was too little too late. And like I say, the scoreline really flatters Tottenham. 4-3 on the outside looking in. If you hadn't seen the game, you would think it was probably a close game. It was anything but after 10 minutes. Chelsea dominated, and, you know, barring a couple of slip-ups from Marc Cucurella, Tottenham didn't really threaten a great deal. They had a couple of opportunities. Of course, it's Tottenham. They are going to obviously create opportunities. But apart from a couple of mistakes, the clinical finishing, the clinical edge to Tottenham's game was just not there. And then, to cap it all off, just absolute stupidity from Spurs and some of their players. The foul from Bissouma, the foul from Sarr. Absolutely ridiculous, stupid moments that allowed Chelsea to run away with the game, essentially. Cole Palmer from the penalty spot doesn't miss. 12 out of 12. The guy's perfect from 12 yards. He's insane. And it's not just him this season, because as good as what Cole Palmer has been, and as exceptional as what Cole Palmer has been, Enzo Maresca has finally got a tune out of Enzo Fernandez, as I mentioned earlier. Moises Caicedo is arguably the best midfielder in the Premier League right now. He is outstanding. And again, is showing his worth in money. That, of course, saw the mega money move happen between Brighton and Chelsea at the beginning of last season. Absolutely insane. Absolutely incredible. He's getting a tune out of those players. Nicholas Jackson is scoring goals. Didn't really have the best of games yesterday, but he wasn't needed. He wasn't needed because other players stepped up. And that's what you wish from your team, from your squad. That's why you build a squad. Because when your best players aren't performing, you need other players to step up. And that's exactly what they did. Cole Palmer stepped up from the penalty spot. Enzo Fernandez has stepped up in multiple games in recent times for Chelsea. Moises Caicedo in midfield, stormer of a game. Yes, you can probably argue he should have been sent off. I think it would have been a slightly harsh assessment due to the way that he is going for the ball. It's not exactly studs. It's not exactly studs. And we said earlier on in the season that Bruno Fernandes's red card for something a little similar, conveniently and coincidentally on a Tottenham player, was maybe a little harsh. So maybe the Caicedo one would have been a little harsh if that was given as a red card. I don't think VAR would have overturned it if it was given on the pitch, which is why they probably didn't overturn it when it wasn't given. But yeah, he had a stormer of a game. Lavia, even though he got hooked at half-time, had a very good first 45 minutes. But again, that shows you why Enzo Maresca was brilliant. Because although Lavia was having a good game, to bring on Gusto, put him at right back, bring Caicedo more into the midfield, it nullified Tottenham almost completely. By just making that switch. And it shows you the kind of gutsy kind of decision making that Maresca did, because 9 times out of 10, most managers don't hook a player for having a good game unless they think the game is won. They need that player for games to come on the horizon. Lavia was hooked at half time, not for having a poor performance, but for pure, seemingly tactical analysis, unless obviously there is a minor injury issue that needs to be managed and worked through. But for the most part, it did seem tactical. Bringing Caicedo into midfield, Gusto on the right, it meant that not only did Chelsea have an option down that right-hand side, a more attacking option than what Caicedo would have been, but it also meant Caicedo could play his more natural position and, like I say, be the destroyer and nullify Tottenham for the most part in that midfield battle, which, in my pre-match prediction, admittedly, I did say that this game would be won in the midfield, and it definitely, most certainly was. I know it sounds cliche, so I'm not going to take the fullest of credits, but I did say that Chelsea's midfield would outthink, outmuscle, and overpower whatever Tottenham threw at them. And that's exactly what they did. And look, going forward, it does see more sunshine and rainbows and a lot of positivity and a lot of optimism for Chelsea. Like I say, their squad is performing well right now. Their attacking options are brimming. The midfield options are strong. The Europa Conference League is an absolute breeze for them, admittedly. They don't even need to play their best players right now. It is simply a breeze for them to get through that stage of the competition. They are passing with flying colours. As you would expect, yes, with a squad that has been pumped with £1 to £2 billion worth of players, but, you know, it is what it is. It's all looking great. It really is for Chelsea. They've been brilliant. And like I say, I was wrong about them at the beginning of the season. I didn't understand a lot of what they were going through. I've questioned whether or not the consistency can somewhat flow. And so far, it is. And like I say, yesterday's performance was brilliant. Apart from 1 or 2 mistakes, slip-ups, it was brilliant yesterday. And Chelsea are flying high right now. Flying absolutely high. And here we are talking about Chelsea in a title race. Now, do I think Chelsea will win this title? Look, they have an opportunity to do so. And with January on the horizon, you can probably expect Chelsea to maybe go into the transfer market for 1 or 2 players. And if they get the right players, there's no doubt in my mind that Chelsea could go on to catch Liverpool. Maybe they put the pressure on Liverpool that much that maybe the Reds do slip up, and maybe Chelsea could take full advantage of that. And that would be an even more kick in the teeth for Arsenal if obviously Chelsea were to win the Premier League title this season. So that's another reason why Chelsea fans will be optimistic for that potential reality to come to fruition. But as of right now, if we are to assume that maybe Chelsea don't go into the market and don't dive in two-footed into the transfer market, the only worry that I would say Chelsea have is defensively. Now, I didn't think they were too bad defensively after the opening 10 minutes yesterday. Yes, Son did score. The game was pretty much over. But after the first 10 minutes yesterday, the mistakes stopped. Now, Chelsea this season, I think a lot of their goals have come through defensive errors, defensive slip-ups, that kind of thing. And yesterday was no different. Both goals happened because Cucurella had the wrong footwear on and he slips twice and allows Tottenham to exploit that weakness and exploit that mistake. And they worked it to their full advantage, and credit Spurs for that. But defensively, there are still question marks there. There are still question marks over whether or not they're the most defensively tight. They've already conceded 18 goals this season in the Premier League, so it's not ideal. They've also conceded 3 in one game yesterday, so again, not ideal. And the goalkeeping situation, for a team, I said it before, for a team that's got about 12 different goalkeepers, surely they have to have one that's at least decent, right? You would imagine so, but no. Like I say, the defensive situation is a bit of a worry for me. The goalkeeping situation is a bigger worry, I would say. But there's no doubt about it. The midfield is strong. The midfield is brilliantly balanced. And no matter what combination you put in that midfield, it can be brilliantly... it can be brilliantly complemented. Whichever combination you throw in there of 2 to 3 midfielders, they can all complement each other. They've got a wide variety of different types of playmakers and destroyers and ball carriers and all the kind of lingo and all the kind of roles that obviously central midfielders play. Chelsea have that in abundance. And going forward, I think they're the top goal scorers in the Premier League right now. I think they've got something along the lines of 35 goals so far this season, which is brilliant for them. And obviously, like I say, the likes of Jackson's chipping in with goals now. Palmer's still chipping in. They have Nkunku they can call on from the bench. Enzo Fernandez has found his shooting boots these past few weeks. It really does look really positive and really optimistic from a Chelsea perspective. And that's why I think they have a lot to be happy about and a lot to be excited about. Talking about title races is one thing. Can they actually go and do it? There's not a lot of pressure on Chelsea right now because in terms of a title race, there's obviously a lot of pressure on them to perform and at least get top 4 with the amount of money that they've spent, of course. But the more that conversation may shift, it's all about whether or not this squad can handle it. So that's going to be interesting to see if they can actually handle it. It's going to be interesting to see if they do any business in January. It's going to be interesting to see if they can maintain this position right now. But like I say, it's all sunshine and rainbows for Chelsea right now. A fantastic and perfect weekend from their point of view, with results occurring elsewhere. Them cutting Liverpool's lead down to just 4 points. And Enzo Maresca's flying high. His Blues are flying high. Chelsea are flying high. Everything is seemingly going in accordance and according to plan for the Blues. And I hate to see it from a rival fan's perspective, but I have to call it for what it is. I've been wrong about Chelsea. I hold my hands up and say that I got it wrong. It does seem like there was method to the madness. And it does also seem like Chelsea are in a title race for this season. Well, there you have it. Those are just the thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, whatever you want to call it, of this guy. I want to know what you guys think. What do you make of Chelsea so far this campaign? Is it too early to tell still? Or are they heading in the right direction? Let me know what you guys are thinking and feeling about the Blues down below in that comment section. Use and abuse that section, people. Talk to me on this. Would love to hear what you have to say on this particular topic. Otherwise, hit the like button on the way out if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you are new or want to see more content like this. Both things are always very greatly appreciated. And as always, thank you all so much for watching and listening. I've been Fletch. This has been another Fletch Talks video. And I'll see you speak with you all again soon in another video or live stream or whatever it may be. Cheers, guys. Thanks everyone for watching. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your day. Speak to you all again very, very soon.